our most humble pranams at the lotus feet of Bhagwan, Sri Satya Sai Baba. Om Shri Sai Ram, brothers and sisters. My name, go for it. Om Shri Sai Ram. Yeah, I like it. My name is Sai Pranay, and I'm from Cleveland, Ohio.
Sai Ram, my name is Santosh Yagnaraman. I'm from Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
And we'll be your MCs for a little bit. So I'm from Ohio. We have a good time with sports sometimes, and a less good time with sports. But one thing we always have going for us is college football. Am I right? Am I right? All right, let's try something. So let's do a call and response. I'm gonna say like a catchphrase and you guys finish it. Got it? OH.
I-O.
OH.
I-O. Dude.
Dare to be. Dare to be.
Divine.
That's right, guys. All we're doing at this festival is daring to be divine in every moment we're here.
So on that really high note, I'm sure you digested all your breakfast by now. So dare to be divine being our theme here. So we have an exciting lineup of activities kind of trying to elevate us to keep up with this message. So on that note, we would like to invite our first guest of honor. So Dr. Phil Gosselin is currently the chairperson of Zone 1 of Sri Satya Sai International Organization. So Zone 1 comprises the English and Dutch-speaking countries of the Western Hemisphere. He's also the co-chair of the SSIO Archive Committee. He has been a past USA Sai Organization Central Coordinator and a past USA Central Council President. He's one of the original USA Central Council members announced at the 1975 World Conference in Swami's presence. He had the great fortune to live in Prashanti Nilayam for a year, and in 1971-72, and again for a year in 1974-75. Dr. Gosselin was also a founding member of several Sai centers in Northeast USA, including the Manhattan Sai Center. Dr. Gosselin resides in Amherst, Massachusetts, in the United States, where he's a clinical psychologist in private practice. He has previously been a professor of psychology at Union Institute and has been the director of Behavioral Medicine Department at the Franklin Medical Center in Greenfield, Massachusetts. He also previously worked in Wall Street for 12 years in the 70s and 80s. An account of his professional life on Wall Street is described in the book, The Dharmic Challenge. So without further ado, it's our great honor and blessing to invite Dr. Phil Gosselin to share his thoughts with us. Sai Ram.
Om Sai Ram. I'm very happy to be here, very happy to have Swami directly behind me, and very happy to be in front of the devotees and feeling the energy, the love, the devotion, the kinship. It's very wonderful to be right there, and I'm praying that Swami will allow me to say a few words that will be useful to you. And being here is a little bit like being in the mandir in Puttaparthi. It's roughly about the same size, and it roughly has that same kind of adjustment sadhana where you have to move forward and squish in a little bit. And it's very, very lovely. And I was asked to walk up the center aisle, but then I thought, well, you know, if it's like Puttaparthi, then you don't walk up the center aisle. So it was lovely to feel that. Now we're all here, we're drawn by the name of Sri Satya Sai Baba. And it reminded me of, there was a sadhaka I knew, and he did something which kind of shocked me when I was young, and now I'm not so young and I know the feeling a little bit. He would say things like, we would be sitting with this person, and he would say, Satya Sai Baba, come to me. then he would look to the sky and he would say, Satya Sai Baba, come to me. And we're like, okay, whatever you say. Satya Sai Baba, come to me. And it was so intense, it was so direct, and that whatever came then, whatever person, whatever animal came, he would say, Satya Sai Baba, you've come to me. And it's that kind of feeling, that divinity everywhere, that's, I can feel that sort of feeling as you get older. This is the chance, your chance to be close to the divine, your chance to make this life mean something. This, you've got to make it happen. You know, we've been given this opportunity, this time with Swami, this interaction with Swami, this feeling from Swami, the dreams from Swami, the gifts from Swami, the teachings, most important, the teachings from Swami, the demonstrations from Swami. For us to not make full use of it is in a way an offense to our own personal soul. Our Atma is offended when we do things. There's no sin in this world, it's just that our Atma is offended by some of the things that we do. Some of the things that we do lift us. They feel right to us. And so that's why I say, Satya Sai Baba, come to us. Be with us here today. This is, Satya Sai is with us always and ever and forever. But for us to ask seems to be somehow important. It seems to be that in the dance, back and forth, that we need to ask. We need to ask. Why? I don't know. It's some dance that's been going on for eons. We want to return to Satya Sai. And at the same time, we enjoy the distance because the yearning, all of that becomes very, very important. Satya Sai was saying to Diana Baskin, you know, her husband was quite keen on uniting with Swami, whereas she was more interested in the devotion. And Swami was sort of teasing, says she wants to be like the bumblebee coming to the flowers, you know. It's just pure sweetness. So I also, as someone that represents the zone, I've had the good fortune to visit most of the countries in the zone and also some of the countries outside of the zone, and to see the energy. If this energy was everywhere in the world, you know, what a world it would be. You know, we talk about unity. Unity obviously is important to people, even non-devotees, non-religious, whatever it is. Unity, there's such a lack of unity and it's such a need for unity. And Swami has given us the answers to these. The world yearns for that unity, and we have been given the teachings about unity. Unity with ourselves, unity with our minds, unity with our thoughts, unity with our words, unity with our fellow persons. We start out unified with the devotees. We expand that. Expansion is our life. And in this world, it's going to be very, very exciting. You know, for us old codgers, probably the various eco-crises are, you know, going to dodge us, whatever. But for you, you're living in the middle of this crisis, which demands unity, demands a level of cooperation that the world has never seen. At the same time that this terrible situation, we have the Swami radiating the love and about the unity and the cooperation. These two are going to come together. And certainly I mentioned with Shirdi Sai, you know, when he was alive, there were some thousands of people total who had seen him and interacted with him. And now millions of people, you know, on weekends, the Bombay clears out and they go to Shirdi. And similar with our Satya Sai. So with Satya Sai, millions met him in some form or other, and billions will know. And with Prema Sai, who knows? But expansion is that life. And sometimes we feel, oh, I'm off in this far distant place, I'm isolated, whatever. Satya Sai is everywhere. Satya Sai is coming to a town near you. Satya Sai. So we've come so far. Let's pay full reverence to the part of the dance that we've already completed with Satya Sai. We're in the middle of the dance right now. Let's pick up the pace. Let's pick up the steps. Let's be looking for what initiatives he gives us. It was lovely to be with the YA officers last night. Intense, intelligent thoughts, and most of all, service. And they were just, sometimes it's interesting to see in the Satya Sai world, sometimes people are just giving, and there's no like personality that goes with it. They're just giving. So there's just the work. It's really quite interesting to see, and I quite admire it when I see people like that. So it was a thrill for me. So I wanted to say that when we're wanting to get somewhere, it's also useful to use this question. And this question has been used by many people over the years, but it still has a power. It's sometimes called the miracle question. And the miracle question is, if you go to sleep tonight and you wake up the next morning and your problem, whatever it is that's separating you from Satya Sai, disappears, whatever barrier you have to being your divine self disappears, what would that look like? What would that feel like? What would you do differently? What would people around you see? This is something to keep in mind because it focuses us. Because we're usually focused on the narrow. Well, I can't be divine because I did such and such. Or I can't be divine because whatever it is. We narrow ourselves. What is the goal is much bigger than the barriers. So please keep that in mind. I wanted to also say that sometimes one of the things that gets in our way is we tend to believe our thoughts. If we believe our thoughts, sometimes they're kind of unuseful, like, I'm not good enough, or it's never going to work out for me, or, you know, I'm cursed in some way. Hopefully none of you have these. But in any event, don't believe your thoughts. Your thoughts, our senses and our thoughts don't really take in things accurately. You know, we're on a ball spinning at 1,000 miles an hour. And around the sun, we're spinning at more than 10,000 miles an hour. And we're moving off through the Milky Way at hundreds of thousands of miles an hour. And we feel none of it. We see none of it. There is a band of light, waves of light. We see this much of the light spectrum. Meanwhile, big other parts of the spectrum we totally miss. The sound spectrum, we hear within here, but we miss all of these things. So we get a very, very limited kind of awareness of what's going on. I also wanted to say that I've noticed that Swami has said in his teachings that sadhana is part, and then self-analysis becomes more and more important. And I've also had a bit of that experience. I may have told this story before, but one time I was at a speech and it wasn't translated, and I was about where that man in blue is, and I'm sitting with my mala under my kurta, and I'm chanting my mantra, and I'm feeling good, and I'm just looking at Swami, and I'm not distracted by trying the translation or whatever it is. And at a certain point, he looks at me directly, and he says something, boom, 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 boom. And I don't understand it. So I asked the fellow next to me what he said. He said, you can say a mantra all your life, but it will come to nothing unless you ask who you are. So it's a very powerful kind of thing. And I realized that Swami gave speeches like that. He would be with a group like this. He would speak to this person, that person's concern, and the metaphor for that person, and the meaning for this person, and the particular health concern of that person. And it's all very, very powerful. But I think the message that I want to convey is that hopefully that Swami wants to convey, is that we need to ask. We need to examine ourselves. What is it that I'm doing that's useful? What is it that I'm doing that's not useful? What is it that I'm thinking that's useful? What is it that I'm thinking that's not useful? How is it that I can be a better person? what is it that's standing in my way of being fully divine? So I think that that's, in my mind, what's possibly meant by that self-analysis. I wanted to echo what Dr. Govind said yesterday. You know the joke, when all else fails, read the instructions. So it means that he's given us all the teachings that we need. And we need to just carefully look at them. You can't take them all in. You can't eat the whole thing. You can't read 20 Vahinis in a row and you'll get spiritual indigestion. But look for what's meant for you. Circle it. Eat it. Be a spiritual cannibal. You sort of like chew it up. You make it your own. And work on it. And he's given us more than we can do in one life. I wanted to end by saying that there was a devotee in our area who used to say, I am free and you are free. And she used to chant it, I am free and you are free. And if you'll indulge me, let's do that 3 times. I am free and you are free. I am free and you are free. I am free and you are free. In other words, we're in an interesting spot. We're bound and we're free at the same time. It's one of the paradoxes of spirituality. And at the same time that we're bound and we need to do our dharma and unwind all of the various karmas and things like that, at the same time, underneath, we're free, free, free. And I also wanted to say that we have the resources, and as we meet each other, we're just starting to get to know each other. It's sort of like an interesting one. I was just in Montana for the 50th reunion of the first Western devotees to come to Satya Sai. The first ones to really sort of plunk down and try and stay for a long time came in January of '70. And 40 and 50 years ago, I was a young adult. But within that, there's so many stories. And within your group, there's so many stories. And within your centers and within your nations and regions, there's so many stories. And I take a moment to sort of give a little infomercial here since I have a captive audience. I'm the co-chair of the archive committee, and we're looking for people to interview devotees, particularly the older ones first. But the idea, interview all of it. We're going to find out all the story, find out everything about how Satya Sai interacted with everyone around the world. So if you have an interest in that, please come see me, or Sangeeta Lakey is helping us in the US here. So I just wanted to add that. So I wanted to say that may we all be a blessing for each other. May Satya Sai come to us. May we be part of the Satya Sai interaction with this world, with this universe, on an interpersonal level, on a social level, national level, universal level. Jai Satya Sai. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Gosselin, for sharing your wonderful thoughts with us. We really appreciate all your encouragement and your guidance, your message of positivity for us YAs. One of your thoughts when you mentioned, I think it was a very timely reminder, again from a personal perspective, about introspection. How can I think? How can I be fully divine at all times? So thank you for that. And above all, Satya Sai Baba, come to us. So thank you once again for sharing your wonderful message with us.